Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Dicey here with another video on Taimanin. Today we're gonna do another set of runs on floor 110 from tower, but before we start don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So there's only a handful of characters that we're missing to check before the F2P runs, so we're gonna go with Heviko, Lina and Eleanor. Uh, Heviko is gonna be the slowest one, and Eleanor. Eleanor is a special case. We'll talk about that later. So, well, let's start with Heviko. So Heviko over here is going to have the limited equipment. The thing is that she desperately needs the rework. Her red color, which is supposed to be the one that deals the most damage, is not doing that, and the AoE is atrocious. So yeah, the only usable build is kind of blue with the limited weapon, so we're gonna use that. And well, obviously we have the weapon 5 out of 5 plus 15, whatever weapon 5 out of 5 plus 14, critical water magatemas because this is a melee build technically, and whatever attack magatemas. Then octopus choke, which doesn't matter that it's a range attack. The thing is that we want to ensnare the enemy. That's really useful. Octopus windmill to deal a ton of damage, and octopus field to also deal a ton of damage. Since Heviko doesn't have HP recovery, or at least that much HP recovery, we're using Kurenai. It is kind of required, and since Heviko is kind of the weakest in this team, I'm going to be using ulti strats, which I don't like, but I mean, just to do this faster. New Year Felicia to increase damage tremendously, and Azusa to increase speed and give a little bit of penetration. Honestly, I would have preferred something that gives me damage, but I mean, the best option perhaps would be Ana Rose. Well, yeah, might as well. I did it with Azusa, and Azusa was not that great, so I'd rather use Ana Rose. Then, stats of the customs, stat training, and let's do the run. Unfortunately, she's still very weak. She lacks damage, she lacks a strong supportive role, she lacks a ton of things, guys. Heviko is one of the characters who desperately needs a rework, and I hope she get it at some point in the future. Okay, I'm not going to attack anymore. I'm just going to evade like that. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, those are not worthy. If you don't two-shot them, you better just evade. Now, I do this and I evade, and then I lock them in place. I use my skills, octopus choke, so that she doesn't move, but she actually didn't get hit by it. Oh yeah, I'm forgetting something very important. As you can see, the buff. This buff is going to give you a bit of damage, but most importantly, you want to reduce your HP so that you have more damage right away. I forgot to use it at the very beginning. Just like that, evade, windmill, and that should be it. Yeah, perfect. Nice. Now, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. I have this skill, the active already up, so that means I'm going to use the active, and then I use the ulti to deal massive damage to every enemy, and so that I'm able to eliminate Nagi quickly. I don't like to do those kind of strategies. I prefer to have fun with the skills, but I mean, Hevik is a little bit underwhelming. She can do this, but yeah, she's gonna struggle, especially if you don't have all the awakenings. And done. Almost done. There. So now I just let the enemies gather. Just like this. And I ensnare them. And I attack most of them. Perfect. Just like that. Nice. Okay. And I want to charge my particles as much as possible. I would like to do the ulti again, but I won't. I mean, you can just wait. That's another option. We are going to wait for the last strategy because Eleanor is a special case. I can tell you that much. So, there we go. Nice. I use the buff. I use the ulti because I don't want to get stun locked to death. And we use the skill. And that's it. Yeah, I mean, you can cheese it this way with any character, but there are some characters that really need it. Heaviko being one of those. Now, let's go with Lina. Lina is extremely easy. Honestly, she's a really busted character, and she's really easy to do. The only flaw that she has is that she requires that you equip this skill, basically. Otherwise, you're gonna struggle with your HP. Maybe if you equip supporters that give you HP, you can manage, but why bother when you have an HP recovery skill? So, I'm gonna use Kahahirako, of course, because buffs, mainly because of the buffs, and the speed increase is also appreciated. Critical Magatemas, both water and wind. 5 out of 5 plus 15, 5 out of 5 plus 15, whatever attack Magatemas on the subslot. Then, Blossom Frenzy, Cherry Blossom Frenzy. This one has multiple uses. Number one is a buff, which is important. But there's also the fact that we have a ton of mobs, and it is extremely easy to activate, and it's going to give you a ton of CC, because the multi-hits are going to stun the enemies, which is great. Then we have, obviously, the healing skill, just to recover HP, and vanishing to deal massive damage to the enemies. Then, since we buff so much, we're going to use Kana. Of course, Kana is the main appeal over here. You can use the Founding 3, but if you don't have the Founding 3, an F2P option is to use Kurenai. You avoid using the healing skill unless you need it, or until you already have the active, so that you just heal and then use the active. That's a viable option. And we have Kirara because generic damage increase for demons. Then, stats of the customs, stat training, and let's do this run. This one is going to be way faster. And the last one, it is fast-ish. You'll see. So, we start by evading. Then we vanish everything into oblivion, and we do this. And since I have so much damage, I can just manage to keep attacking and delete the enemy. And I'm going to evade, come on. Just like that. And I just vanish. No, this was vanish. Okay. Well, I mean, Murasaki, tanky as always. She's not gonna kill me, but she's gonna be annoying. That's it. Well, until I have all the buffs together and I use Vanish. The synergy is just disgustingly good. I love Kana. And Melt too. The thing is, Melt doesn't get as much benefit because the blue supporters are a little bit more aggressive because they are usually anti-trait, while the other ones, the red ones, are generic because they are crit or damage increase, generic damage increase. So they don't get as much damage as the blue ones. Now I just evade. I use this and I hit. And I hit again. Look at that. I'm almost done with her. Yep, I'm done with her. Pretty easy. The only annoying thing is the basics. If you can get a basic enhancer because you have the heavy Shika pack, that would be nice. Trust me. You want to use it if at all possible. The basic enhancer for speed, because you don't need the AOE. You already have good AOE with the perfect dodge. Talking about the perfect dodge, we want to start with the perfect dodge and then vanish. And now perfect dodge one more time, vanish one more time, and can I? No, I can't. The cooldown is too long. Vanish. Come on. There. Nice. So, pretty easy. We're just missing one. Now, Eleanor. The issue with Eleanor is that she's too squishy and she doesn't have HP recovery. And one of the enemies, as you already know, is Nagi. Nagi has range attacks, and that makes Eleanor extremely vulnerable for this. I was trying the red strategy with snare control and such, but no, that's not the best idea. In fact, I am not using the best build that I could. I'm gonna adjust it. Originally, I was using this, but I'm gonna change it. I'm going to equip this one, because that's the best weapon that you can equip. So I just do this, and I put yellow. I forgot to put yellow. And one red. Wait a moment. There is one critical rate. Yeah, this one. Okay. So we use the Momochi weapon because we're going with a crit build. We're going to use 2 red, 2 green. Well, 2 fire, 2 wind. Critical damage. Whatever weapon on the subslot, both weapon 5 out of 5, this one plus 15, this one plus 14, whatever attack Magatemas on the subslot. Stampede to deal massive amount of damage, Geyser Burst to just continue with the damage after breaking the super armor, and Aqua Curtain to protect yourself against Nagi, super important. I mean, it also gives a damage increase, which is nice, but Nagi protection, god, you don't want to deal with her. Then, yes, we're gonna use Taimanin Shinmore. This makes us even more frail than we already are, but is worth it because we're gonna finish in 1 or 2 combos. Akane because it's one of the biggest damage increase against bosses, and Kowaru because it's one of the biggest critical damage increase, generic damage increase. Then the stats of the customs, stat training. And unlike other strategies, we're gonna start by doing nothing. Yeah, we're just going to wait for our timer to give us buffs. I mean, 5 or 6 should be more than enough. And not only that, we're going to position ourselves properly on the second wave so that we can use the active properly and we just delete Nagi ASAP. So 2 stacks. Yeah, I don't like to rely on these kind of strategies, but Eleanor, either you put too much tankiness into her that she doesn't deal enough damage and she's extremely slow, but maybe she can do it that way, or you go as an extreme glass cannon, you know? Which I prefer to go just glass cannon. I prefer to clear things fast, even if I have to commit a couple minutes at the beginning just to be able to get the stacks. And with 6 should be more than enough. So we start by gathering the enemies and then we just delete them. And this one, as you can see, we deal a good amount of damage, but why bother? Okay, nice. I just do this and done. Yep, Stampede. And done. Yeah, pretty oppressive, pretty good. I'm going to do this manually just because I want to wait for the stacks. Yeah, it's all about the stacks. Let's see. Here, I want to reposition as much as possible around here. And then I manually have to beat this one so that I preserve my cooldown. Then over here, I start with this, then I use Stampede, and it's done. Yeah, one shot the boss. You don't want to deal with Nagi, not with Eleanor. It is extremely dangerous. And I'm not getting one shot because of my awakenings and such, but do strengthen your character as much as possible in the attack department if you want to do this strategy. God, is it viable? Yeah, it is viable, but risky. I won't deny that. That's why I have to do this smart, and I have to avoid a lot. I have to reposition, and I have to use the immunity to range attacks. Super useful. Okay, just like that. And I destroy everyone. Done. Done. Easy? Yes. Pay to win? Yeah, I won't deny that. I mean, weapons. The weapons are gacha weapons, permanent gacha weapons. The supporters are also permanent supporter, most of them. The only one is Shinmora. But, oh god, having her 5 out of 5 and abusing this buff is really, really useful. If you want to clear Tower 110 with Eleanor, this is the kind of strategy that you want to use. She is not designed for this specific kind of content. As always, she can do it. But do you want to go tanky and take a while on that? I mean, that's also doable. Well, let me know in the comments what you think. I hope you find this useful, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!